Hello everyone, myself Tanvi Patel, working as Assistant Professor in Computer Engineering Department in Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center, Navsari. Our subject is Effective Technical Communication and our topic is Technical Writing. So, today our outline is Agenda of Meeting and Minutes of Meeting. First we will see about the Agenda of Meeting. Define Agenda of Meeting. An agenda is a list of meeting activities in the order in which they are to be taken up, beginning with the call to order and ending up with adjournments. It usually includes one or more specific items of business to be acted upon. It may but not required to include specific times for one or more activities. An agenda may also be called as docket, schedule or calendar. It may also contain a listing of an order of business. Means if you are going for any meeting, then you have to plan the agenda first, list out the items in the agenda, and then you go forward for the meeting. That is called the agenda of meeting. Next, an agenda list the items of business to be taken up during a meeting or session. Means here you can see in figure that the agenda items are being listed, in which the meeting which you are going to conduct contains the following points and you have to follow that all points. A meeting agenda may be headed up with the date, time and location of the meeting, followed by a series of points outlining the order in which the business is to be conducted. Steps on any agenda can include any type of schedule or order the group wants to follow. Agenda may take different forms depending on the specific purpose of the group and may include any number of items. Means there is no predefined number of items included. You can include number of items how much you want. In business meetings of a deliberative assembly, the items on the agenda are also known as the order of the day. It is also called the order of the day because the planning which is done in the agenda, you follow that plan the whole day. So, the agenda of meeting is also called as the order of the day. The agenda is distributed to a meeting's participants prior to the meeting so that they will be aware of the subject to be discussed and are able to prepare for the meeting accordingly. The agenda which is planned, it is being distributed among the meeting members prior about the meeting so that they are aware of the subject which is being included in the agenda and are being prepared for the meeting so that the discussion which is done in the meeting can easily be done. Next, developing a meeting agenda. First, identify whether other employees are needed to help you plan the meeting. Then decide what you hope to accomplish by holding the meeting and establish double goals for the meeting. The goal you set will establish the framework for an effective meeting plan. Make certain that you have not planned more than a reasonable achievable within the time frame of your meeting. Means you have to plan according to the time. If you want to say something more, then you have to time frame your meeting according to that point. Example of agenda meeting. Your meeting purpose will determine the meeting focus, the meeting agenda and the meeting participants. Means your purpose for meeting is to focus on the meeting, the agenda of the meeting, what you have listed that should all be covered, and the meeting participants, the participants who are taking part in the meeting, they should know the purpose of the meeting. Then consider how much time you expect to need for each agenda item. Means the listed point in the agenda of meeting which you have done, that should be time expected so that that point should be covered in that much minutes. If the meeting is to last 1 hour and you have 5 agenda items, that gives you a general idea of the time frame you are working with. Means if you have given 1 hour and your agenda items have 5 points, then that should be covered in the whole 1 hour. Next, what decision to make? After determining your overall goal, you and your team need to make certain decisions. Means after the agenda, you have to create some decisions or you have to take some decision about that agenda. In addition to the purpose or goal of the meeting, also include following points with your agenda: a date, time and location for the meeting, that should be included; participants needed in the meeting, that should be included; items for discussion, which items you are going to discuss, that should be mentioned; the amount of time that you anticipate the group will need to discuss each item, means the points which are covered in the agenda, how much time the group will need for each point to discuss, that should be anticipated; pre-work for the meeting, this will include any reading, documentation, data, meeting minutes for a prior meeting or any other preparation that will make your actual meeting successful, that should be included. Relevant documents should be attached to the meeting notice and agenda when you distribute them to invite participants. Means the document what you want to attach, that should be attached with your meeting notice, so that the participant can easily know what the goal is. Next, identifying participants. Once you have decided that a meeting is necessary to accomplish your goal, you need to develop a list of participants. Means if you are planning some meeting and you have to accomplish your company goal, then you should develop a list of participants whom you want to include in the meeting. Not every employee can or should participate in every meeting, but inviting the right participant will enhance your likelihood of success. Means it is not necessary to include all the participants of your company in the meeting, but the right person who is achieving the company's goal, that should be included in the meeting, so that your company can achieve success properly. Determine your participants by asking yourself some questions. You should ask yourself some questions about the participants who are taking part in the meeting. Who must own the solution the group develops? Who owns the process the group is discussing? Who needs to know the information you are distributing? Means the participant whom you are taking part in the meeting, they should be aware of the meeting, and the groups which are developing the application or anything about the meeting, they should also know the solution about the meeting. Next, who can provide data and facts to guide decision making? Who has experience or expertise to share with the group? Who must support the implementation of any solution or task? Who must provide permission or resources to accomplish the meeting outcome? Who might oppose the implementation of any solution or directions? These are the some points which should be included when the participants are taking part in the meeting. Next, regularly scheduled meetings. Not every meeting needs a custom developed agenda. Most employees have regularly scheduled meetings for their departments or work groups. The regularly scheduled employee meetings is divided into 3 segments, for which each has standard agenda items. First is informational item. Write out any agenda items that are informational for every meeting. For example, the manager updates the group on the outcome of the senior management meeting. Means the manager who is there, he updates the group items, that is informational item, before the meeting is held. Next is action item. Place on the agenda any item that you expect the group will want to review at every regular scheduled meetings. For example, performance to budget for the time period and the identification of cost savings and continuous improvements the group plan to achieve, that is your action plan. And next is forward planning. Place on the agenda any item that the group wants to place for or prepare for in advance, means the advance preparation of your agenda item that the group want to plan, that should be forwarded. For example, the short term goal for the next month or the need for co-worker assistance on upcoming assignments. What to include in the meeting? An agenda for a regular scheduled meeting can help produce the result you seek by including some basic items. So the basic items are warm up and greetings, that is consider a brief icebreaker depending on how frequently the group meets, that is warm up and greetings. Second is review the meeting's purpose, agenda and expected outcome and product. Next is review, correct if necessary and improve the minutes of the prior meeting. Next is provide appropriate departmental and company information that the team needs. Next, review progress on action items, action plans and commitments. Review group progresses on goals. Next, review progress on action items, action plan and committees. Next, discuss and make decision about the agenda item for their meeting. Identify next step. Identify the purpose, outcome and agenda for the next meeting. At the end of the meeting, the note taker should review the commitments made by people during the meeting. Next, determine if any outside of the meeting participant need to know what and decide how you will accomplish the communication. Distribute minutes within 24 hours of the meeting or immediately if the note taker took them electronically. Here you can see the example of agenda of meeting. First, board of director meeting agenda. He has written some points about the chairman that is being defined in the agenda. Next, exercise to solve. You have to complete this by doing at home. Your club is going to host the art and craft event for disabled children. Draft an agenda for meeting. And next is draft an agenda for decline in sales of book of your publication. So now next is minutes of meeting. First of all, definition of minutes of meeting. Minutes, also known as minutes of meeting, that is MOM, or protocols or informally notes, are the instant written record of a minutes meeting or hearing. They typically describe the events of the meeting and may include a list of attendance, a statement of the issue considered by the participant and related response or decisions from the issues. Minutes may be created during the meeting by a typist or court reporter who may use shorthand notation and then prepare the minutes and issues them to the participants afterwards. Next, alternatively, the meeting can be audio recorded, video recorded, or a group's appointed or informally assigned secretary may take note with minutes prepared later. Many government agencies use minutes recording software to record and prepare all minutes in real time. Minutes are the official written record of the meeting of an organization or a group. The minute of certain group, such as a corporate board of director, must be kept on file and are important legal documents. Minutes of executive session may be kept separately. Minutes from board meeting are kept separately from minutes of general membership meeting within the same organization. Format for MOM, that is minutes of meeting. The format of the minutes can vary depending on the standards established by an organization, although they are general guidelines. Generally, minutes begin with the name of the body holding the meeting and may also include the place, date, list of people present and the time the chairman called the meeting to order. The primary function of minutes is to record the decisions made. All official decisions must be included. Minutes are sometimes submitted by the person who is responsible for them at a subsequent meeting for review. The traditional closing phrase is respectfully submitted, although this is no longer common, followed by the officer's signature, his or her typed or printed name, and his or her title. Before the meeting, choose your recording tool while you go to old school and use a pen and paper, or while you go high tech and use a laptop, computer, tablets or smartphone. You can use any recording tool or you can use paper and pen for your minutes. Make sure your tool of choice is in working order and have a backup just in case your original or fails. Read the meeting agenda before the meeting starts. It will allow you to formulate an outline for your minutes. Leave some space before each item on it and write your notes there. Doing this will make your job a little easier as long as the person running the meeting sticks to an agenda. During the meeting, pass around an attendance sheet and make sure everyone signs on it. You will need to include a list of all attendance in the official meeting minutes. Make sure you know who everyone is. That's why you will be able to identify who is speaking correctly and record the information. Note the time the meeting begins and end up the time when meeting is closed. Write down all motions, who made them, and the results of votes if any. If votes on any motions or discussions are deferred until the next meeting, make a note of it. Record the ending time of the meeting. After the meeting, type up the minutes as soon as possible after the meeting while everything is still fresh in your mind. If you find an error in your meeting note or you have a question, you can clear it up quickly by talking to other attendants. On the final copy of the minute, include the name of the organization, title of the committee, type of meeting, that is daily, weekly, monthly, annually or special, and its purpose. Give the time it begins and ended. Provide the list of attendance and a note about who ran the meeting. Include your name on the list of participants. Alternatively, at the end of document, you can sign off by writing respectively submitted by followed by your name. Proofread the minutes before you submit them. Ask someone else who attend to look them over as well. They will be able to let you know if you accidentally left something out. Submit them to the person who ran the meeting unless instructed to do otherwise. Here you can see the example of minutes of meeting. Routine meeting of Staff Welfare Society of Education Trust. This is the exercise you have to solve at home. Write minutes of meeting conducted to enhance business sales target, and the second is write minutes of meeting conducted in your college for choosing college representative. So thank you.